Thank you for that, Charles. Vanessa, let's come back to you then and give us an update on the situation in Gaza.
Yes, I just wanted to point out that in the last hour, the headline at CNN is Secret Service ramped up security after receiving intel of Iranian plot to assassinate Trump. So I think that's quite a good follow-on from my Trump sector. So I want to point out that the genocide in Gaza is ongoing. In fact, it's increasing, if that's even possible, with some fairly horrendous massacres and events this week. So clearly Netanyahu feels no threat either from Biden or from the potential of an incoming Trump administration. This is a report in Al-Mayadeen, 320 cases of severe burns in 48 hours in Gaza. Israel is using prohibited weapons against Palestinians in Gaza, resulting in up to 320 cases of severe burns, Gaza's government media office said. Of course, we know that Israel has historically used white phosphorus. White phosphorus, if it comes into contact with human flesh, it literally melts the flesh away from the bone, and it's very difficult to stop the spread of that burn. Martyred and injured Palestinians were brought into hospitals in Gaza with severe burns due to Israel's usage of internationally prohibited weapons. In a statement on Monday, these are unconventional and internationally prohibited weapons banned for use against humans and mostly American-made, adding that the bodies were severely burned due to the Israeli occupation's army's use of these weapons. And then I just wanted to show a very quick video. There have actually been 2 massacres in Mawasi camp near Khan Yonis, which was designated a safe zone by Israel for the refugees from the north and other areas of Gaza to go to and to set up their camp cities. I'm not going to show anything particularly distressing regarding dead bodies, but this is the actual capture of the first Israeli strike on Mawasi camp, which is crowded with tens of thousands of refugees. So let's roll this.
يا رب يا ساتر يا رب يا رب قصف مربع كامل في مواسي خان يونس. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل.
سلطان هادي سلطان سلطان
It's been pointed out that the 2,000-pound Mk-84 was used in this attack, and at least 5 missiles were used against, as I said, a heavily populated civilian encampment. If we look at what the Mk-84 does, it can effectively, it's usually used against heavy machinery, against armored vehicles, against tanks, and against infrastructure. It can create massive craters, and it can basically kill civilians within a range of over 300 meters from the impact point. More than 100 were killed in this attack, and hundreds more were injured. Hospitals overwhelmed trying to deal with them. Since October the 7th, 160 journalists have now been killed by Israel, and of course their families have been targeted during the various assassination attempts. And this is a story that I really wanted to highlight to demonstrate the inhumanity of the Israeli forces in Gaza. A Palestinian with Down syndrome was left to die by Israeli soldiers. This is a report in Middle East Eye after a combat dog attack. Mohammed, who was like a 1-year-old, was separated from his family by the soldiers. And then the dog was basically allowed to maul him and he was desperately trying to defend himself. If we look at the rest of, or another section of the report, soldiers expelled everyone from the house except for Muhammad, who was taken to a separate room. Unable to see him, his mother could only guess his fate from the screams as she was forced to leave the area at gunpoint. 7 agonizing days of waiting passed before Israeli troops finally withdrew from Shujaiya. The family rushed back to the apartment on Wednesday. They found Muhammad's decomposing body. People can read that for themselves. But basically, the dog was allowed to maul him to death, a defenseless guy with Down syndrome.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Vanessa, for that.